All right, everybody, welcome again to the Breckenridge Film Fest high school roundtable discussion. So pleased to have all of you here. This is awesome. I hope you've been enjoying something from the Breck Film Fest this weekend as it started, I believe, on Thursday night. So I'm just your co-coordinator, moderator for this. I'm going to pass it off to Steve Mose in a second. You can see Steve there. So what we did here was try to get some of our high school students that got into the Breckenridge Film Festival, and we wanted to hook you up with the professional filmmakers, as we talked about in my email, because you guys know the real deal, and we'd love to share the experience of filmmaking with each other. So before we get started, I'd love to have our students first introduce themselves and what film they not what film, just introduce yourselves, and then our filmmakers as well. Maybe say your name, where you're coming from. So students, maybe we start with Aiden.
Yeah, so I'm Aiden Riley. I'm a senior in high school currently, and I'm from Denver, Colorado.
Very nice. And Alyssa?
Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm a freshman at Ithaca College currently, and I'm from Elizabeth, Colorado, which is south of Parker.
Very cool. And Nolan?
Hi, I'm Nolan, and I'm from LA, California.
All right, so those are our amazing three high schoolers that are joining us today. Thank you. And now for our professionals in the field, we'd love to hear who you are, where you're from, and what film got into the Breckenridge Film Festival this year from you, and what your role in the film was, whether you're a director, producer, actor, and so on. So Greg, why don't you start us off?
Sure. I'm Greg Allen. I'm coming to you from northern New Jersey, just outside of New York City. My film is the short film Reparations, and I was the director, screenwriter on that.
Very cool. Robert?
Yeah, I'm Robert. My name is Robert Brogman, and I wrote and directed Six Nights. And I am from Kansas City, currently working in Denver, Colorado. I think that's everything, right?
That's it. Unless you have more, we'll talk a lot more this whole. We got till about 3 o'clock, guys. So I hope you all can last that long. Cool. Laney.
Hi, I'm Laney Zapoy. Was born in Memphis, but I'm now based in Brooklyn, and my film is a feature film, The Subject.
Bravo. And Ben?
I'm Ben Proudfoot. I'm originally from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I live in Los Angeles, and the film is called The Lost Astronaut, and I directed it.
Very cool. Joel, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Joel Zambas. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, and I directed and co-produced, film, edited a lot of the film Tending Clouds, which is a short documentary.
Awesome. And lastly, Pat.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pat Battistini. I'm originally from Indiana, which you can see up there. Now living in Los Angeles. I was fortunate enough I have 2 films in the fest this year. Miss Rossi is a comedy. I was writer-director for that one. Also writer-director for the drama short Dignity. So happy to see everybody.
Awesome. Well, very nice to have all of you. We look like we're actually joined by Diana Nielsen as well. She's going to hopefully hop on here in a second. Until she hops on here, I'm going to pass it over to Steve Mose, who's been in charge of this thing for a few years now, so he can tell you more about this event.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Well, welcome to the Filmmakers Roundtable, or Feedback from a Pro, whatever we want to call it. It's been a great event. This is our 4th year at Breckenridge. And prior to that, we had a statewide film festival I did in Steamboat Springs, where it was just for students, and we kind of started this feedback as well. But Breckenridge definitely has upped it, and it's just great to be able to get students and filmmakers with films in Breckenridge. We really appreciate your time in giving that feedback and time to the students. I'm excited to bring 3 of the top high school student filmmakers together. Usually we sit at a table and we have lunch and we take a group photo and we exchange contact info, but I think this is going to work real well, like Paul said, as far as being on Zoom and being online. This is going to be recorded as well. I'm the career and tech ed coordinator CTE for the Thompson School District down in Loveland. And so we have video production programs at 4 high schools. And so a big part of what we want to do today too is this is going to be recorded so that teachers can watch this later with their students and be able to use it as a teaching tool, right? On how to analyze film, have the students give some input and that sort of thing. So that's a great tool I'm excited to be able to offer to teachers around the country this year as well. My main job then is just to ensure that all participants get time to chime in. And really, we want to just make this discussion like a conversation, you know, just make it conversational once we get rolling on this. Just a couple of quick thoughts from doing this in the past. While the feedback doesn't have to just be all sugar and la la land and everything's perfect, but don't forget these are like 15 to 18-year-olds who maybe don't have a lot of filmmaking experience. So constructive suggestions, points to aspire to on future projects are great. It's been a while, but a few years ago, I had some pretty intense filmmakers grilling students, and that wasn't really the purpose. So it's really supposed to be conversational and a win-win all the way around for everybody. So definitely schools bring different levels of equipment and all those sorts of things to the table. So just be cognizant of that. And I think what I want to start with then, Paul, is we're starting with Aiden. Aiden, maybe just, again, introduce your film, and then we'll come back to you when it's over and you can talk a little bit more about what inspired you to create this topic and what were some of maybe the challenges and the other pieces that came up during the process. But for now, let's just introduce maybe just your film and just a little bit about it so filmmakers can really watch it with a clear eye.
Yeah, for sure. So for the second semester at Warren Tech, we had the main project for that semester was a documentary. Can you guys hear me fine? Am I cutting in and out? Okay. And so, sorry, it's been made that a while ago. But yeah, so it was a documentary around something we were interested in. And so I was in Boy Scouts, and one of the dads there, he owns this company and started this company. And they do all of the custom paint for Harley Davidson. Like, he gave me a rough, he goes about 80% of all of the paint jobs, like after, you know, besides stock, are done by their shop. And so, well, first off, I was just really interested in it. I thought it was pretty cool. And I contacted him. He was super helpful. And yeah, so this is a project that took me a while. It's probably my biggest project that I've worked on up to this point. So I don't know if that gives enough detail, if that's what you're looking for.
Cool. So here is Harley Davidson custom paint. It is 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
My name is Jeff Tyson. My position at Gunslinger Paint is president and founder of the company. The company originated in 2003 officially, but it started underneath one of our auto body shops down in Denver, and then we branded it and brought it online in 2004. We are a high content paint provider for Harley Davidson. We are one of 2 main companies that do it for them directly. So our parts come in here, we produce them with designs that are either designed by us or designed by them, and we send them to their manufacturing plant where they go on brand new motorcycles every day. The company started out of back in the day when Discovery Channel had motorcycle shows on, and we saw a niche of finding motorcycles that needed to be painted in a production standpoint. Harley dealerships would send their paint to somebody that did it at home, and these people were generally graphic-minded, very talented, but not very business-minded. So we looked at that and said, okay, there's a dealership that's in Fort Collins called Thunder Mountain. We got a hold of them and started to paint their motorcycles for them. We settled in on this motorcycle paint. It was the newest craze. It was the biggest thing on TV, and you know, there was hundreds of choppers being built every day across the country, and so it's like they all needed custom paint. Today, we've gone through many suppliers over the years, but at this point today, we are 99.5% reliant on Harley-Davidson. We've developed this relationship. They know that they need us and we need them. We're what they call their crown jewel paint supplier. So we do all the things that cannot be done in their plants. We also do all the things that our other supplier can't do. So it goes down to the hand-laid, painted-on pinstriping that somebody else can't do. There's a few people in the world that can do it, but we've got most of them that work here that are really good. Our largest expense on our budget is liquid paint. To compare us to a large auto body shop in Denver, we spray probably 4 times that in a day for the largest body shops. But that's our biggest expense. It's over 40% of our cost of goods sold. It's equal to our labor, just about. We have great people that work around us. The company really has fantastic people that make it happen on a day-to-day basis. We can create a path that if you walked in the door, you could run any part of this company. It's all something you can learn. We have a few basic principles. You know, one, attendance is number one. We have to deliver every day. So attendance is critical here. Attitude is the second part. Quality of work is the third part. And then just overall ability to learn. So if you come in with a good attitude and you can show up for work, you can pretty much do 80% of the jobs in this company, and you can grow into them, and we'll teach you. Because we don't have the luxury of hiring, you know, in construction, somebody that frames houses. They know how to frame houses. They can frame a house for me. They can frame a house for another company. But what we do here is we don't do anything just like the body shops. We do things like we do. Things that keep me inspired is that we've brought on a different type of person now with added robotics into our company, and that was pretty inspiring of seeing what they can do. And the scary part about it is that it's something I can't personally do. At any point in time, I could do just about every job in this company other than pinstriping, and now I don't know how to program a robot. I don't know how to run some of our computer programs. It's inspiring to see the people that we've brought on that can do that and take us to another level. For designing, John will either sketch them on a template or a buck, or he'll take actual parts and lay it out with tape on it and to get the lines flowing through the bike. John will sketch the design, and then Janine will put it into Photoshop and put the backgrounds in it and the colors into it. And John is not a Photoshop expert, so we have him tagged up with somebody that is. The original goal back in 2004 was if we could just paint 10 motorcycles a month. That was the original goal. Right now we paint on average between 24 and 30 motorcycles a day. We actually paint close to 1,200 parts a day. So the original goal was to capture a little bit of a market share that was new and try to keep the company growing in a time where everything else was shrinking. When you start a company, it's hard to manage cash flow. I would say the hardest part besides that is managing left brain and right brain thinkers. The artistic side of the brain isn't really good at managing money. The business side of the brain, is good at managing process, and personalities like that usually don't get along very well. So that's probably been the hardest. Did I ever want to quit or give up? That's a tough question. Which day? So they still surface. Some days they surface with 5 days in between. Some days they surface with a year in between. But yeah, they always come back. Currently, we're behind in production, and it's all the things that we've done before. Sometimes the staff forgets what we did to be successful at that time. And those are frustrating days. And then you got to remind them and help coach them through them and get it going. And we call it the grind. You're in the grind and you got to keep reminding and keep going. But yeah, there's plenty of days you think about walking away. But the good outweigh the bad. When we have a special moment, it's usually like we added a robot. That was a big special moment. Our first robot we put in was scary and fun. Back 10 years ago, a special moment might have been when we added another structure, our building to the east, and put in more paint booths and able to hire more staff. Or ultimately, the best moment would have been the day that we signed the contract with Harley Davidson. That was a great day. Never thought we'd be sitting here painting hundreds and hundreds of parts for an icon company like that, for just a couple guys from Minnesota and Iowa that put on our pants and go to work. We look around and you see the amazing things that have come. Let's continue to do what we do at a little faster pace for a little less money. That's what the robots will help us do too. Is 80% of our work is labor, hand-touch labor. The things that we can strip out of the hands and do through a robot, we will, but the reality is the things that got us to where we're at is our high contrast, hand labor, hand graphics that can't be done anywhere else. So we don't ever want to give up on what got us here, then we'll be just like anybody else. I think the old American dream is that if you work hard and you find your way, show up for work hard, and have a plan. And it's not always easy, but you can do anything you put your mind to. I think that's the real result of this company. It's been fun. A hobby turned into work. What better job could you ask for?
Okay, let's, great job again, Aiden. I'm gonna give you the floor one more time before we have the, yes, correct filmmakers start commenting, but any specific challenges you had to overcome or changes you had to make that were unexpected, or maybe anything that went better than you thought from when you started? Any last comments before we turn it over?
Yeah, with challenges, and I kind of saw this coming a little bit, was trying to get the story out of it and not just a commercial for his company. You know, that was a big thing that also tried focusing my questions around too, like, you know, yeah, what they do, why they do it, but you know, getting the story, trying to get that struggle of, you know, something that might be more relatable instead of it, you know, just being a commercial. So, you know, as I was kind of working on it before I started filming, that was a big struggle, and then same with and during the interview too. But yeah, no, towards the end he got a lot more loose, a lot more open on camera and everything, and I think yeah, like he like towards the end of the film you start hearing him, you know, a little more open, and he talks about, you know, the struggle, and yeah, so that was a cool part. That's what I was really hoping for, and I'm glad I got that. And then audio, that was a struggle in that place. I didn't, you know, just want to, you know, set up in a uh, you know, like a room or something just with like pictures. I wanted, you know, in the actual building. And probably the biggest struggle with that was, well, I mean, just all the noise in there. And also because they work on and they paint parts that aren't going to come out for a long time. Like they were painting parts that weren't going to be released till like, you know, 2021, 2022. And so I couldn't show about 80% of all the parts that were on the floor the first few weeks of filming that we wanted to do. So we wanted to knock it out. So I had, luckily, they got approved to be able to show that.
Okay, awesome.
Publicly, but yeah, that was a little challenge. Yeah.
All right, maybe we'll just jump in. Greg, do you just want to start us off, and then we'll just hop around everybody, and let's hear your thoughts.
Sure. I thought it was a really great piece of life showing us about this company. You know, you were talking about the difference between a commercial and finding that narrative. I think your questions were really great. And actually, it looks so slick and so good that the company could probably take pieces of this someday and want to use it as a commercial for themselves. I'm not a documentary filmmaker, but I've worked with many. And I know one of the biggest challenges, or I guess one of the excitements I've heard from several of them is, you think you're heading down one road whenever you're shooting something like that, and you have your questions all set. But somewhere along the way, sometimes if you're following the subject long enough, you may end up telling a different type of narrative than you set out to tell. And that's really because the subject is going to lead you in such a way that something may click and you go, wow, I thought I was just going to tell about his company, but I really wanted to get into this. And it may just absolutely be a timing issue. It depends on how long you follow that subject and you learn more. But I thought you did a really good job.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I felt like this was super robust. I was curious. You said you have or have not done a ton of like commercial production stuff prior to this.
I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really amazing, you know, first time out. People will absolutely, you know, pay for this. I mean, work of this quality, and as you continue to get better and everything else, I mean, yeah, high praise. I think it's very dynamic. Cool shots. Did you? It looked like at a couple different points you had some like multicam setups and things like that for your interviews. Yeah, very robust. I mean, yeah, keep going. Hard to give a ton of advice. Keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna, you know, figure stuff out along the way, of course. But this is a really, really strong first effort for something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Aiden, congratulations. One of the things I really responded to was the color, you know, that this is about, you know, the use of color, and then that you found ways to incorporate that in the visual storytelling is really, really strong. And it sounds like you've already hit upon many of the challenges that filmmaking brings to us, whether it's rights that you have to get for a song, for a visual, for any artwork. I know for me in my film, one of the ways I got around it was I have a friend who got her MFA, and I asked her if she would reach out to friends of hers who also got their MFA in painting and drawing, and if we could use that artwork in my film. And so many people have said, oh my God, that house looks like a real house. And so I think what you're dealing with already is that you've already experienced that. How do you get the rights for something? And that will be something that you'll be dealing with as a filmmaker forever. So having that. And then I loved your idea or thoughts about the storytelling, because the great thing about what you've just created, yes, it can go into documentary, it could go into something like branded content, it could go into a commercial for this company, all of that is usable. But I think that that is the skill to always lean into, is how do you create that trust with your subject, and how do you always have a deeper connection where they will reveal. And I did, for me, those moments where he does talk about the challenges, or where he mentioned that where they were from, you know, Iowa and whatnot, that brought sort of a human element to the film that I really responded to. So kudos, really fabulous work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And on that note, yeah, that was that moment, you know, kind of when he was saying that, I'm like, that's it, you know. But yeah, thank you.
I'll go ahead. I'll go next. Congratulations, Aiden. Really great job. I'm so envious of all these filmmakers being so young and knocking out these awesome films. I agree with what Lainey said too, that the opening was great, those colors, and the music and the grit to it, great, gave it almost that Harley Davidson audience type of feel, but yet it also embraced the mainstream like myself. I don't have a motorcycle, but I really enjoyed the music and the opening. It got my attention. And it was great that you recognized that you had the audio problems, but you did a great job of mixing it in there with what you had. I know the music is an element to it too, and the sound, so that was difficult, but as a filmmaker, I noticed it, but it didn't take me out of the film at all. So that was great that you did that. Also, the thing with the actually subject matter of the film itself, I love this guy. He was down home. We could all relate to him. The one element with documentaries that I always see at festivals is people, unfortunately, they don't want to talk to the filmmaker. They want to talk to the subject matter. So this is definitely a guy I would love to see more about. I would also love the guy who was doing the pinstriping. I can't even sign my name consistently, and this guy's making, you know, thousands of dollars in motorcycles with this. He would have been great. I would have loved to see or talk to him as well, if you ever decide to expand on this. And then also the things that came to my mind is, I'd love to see something they would have done in the past, or like maybe their proudest bikes that they've ever painted, or the most coolest, something like that. Again, you can expand on. And I know it was a short doc, so you had a lot of information, and I know you probably had hours of footage to try to cut it down to 10. So it's always hard. So you did a great job in telling your story and making it concise. But I really enjoyed it. The 10 minutes went by very fast. And I would have loved to see more, which is really what a documentary filmmaker, you've accomplished this if you've engaged your audience and they want to know more about this. So congratulations.
Thank you. Means a lot.
I'll jump in there. That was really cool. Good job, Aiden. I think the footage was awesome. How you kept it very like unique. It wasn't just like the same angle every single time. You had a lot of movement. It wasn't just tripods and monopod shots or whatever. It was a lot of really good movement and everything, and you edited very well. The pace was nice. It wasn't like I was waiting on a shot for too long and thinking, okay, let's move on. You know, like you did a good job with keeping the momentum, even though the video was like a longer, like glorified commercial or whatever, you know, but you did good with that. And even with the challenges, I think that's a good barometer for a good filmmaker, especially in the documentary field, is being able to have the challenges, but being able to make something great even through the challenges. And you got it into Breck Film Fest, so shows you did it. So And yeah, the subject was really, yeah, I agree with the other guys that I just wanted to know more about him, and like he was a cool guy. So good job.
Thank you.
I'll round it out. I totally echo how you should be congratulated. I can't believe you're in high school. It's so professional, unbelievably professional. I was watching, I was like, is this an ad that's playing before the film's gonna play? I was like amazed by how well crafted it was. You should be very, very proud of that. And clearly that's why you were drawn to this high craft and sheen of this guy's business, right? I've made a lot of films about craftspeople, and I think it's like this, my same interest that makes me interested as a filmmaker. You know, clearly, I think like in terms of like the technical aspects of how to put a film together, always there's areas to improve, but you've got a lot of those things down pat, especially for where you are in your career. You said that you were interested in like the more of the story element. So to me, that's what I wanted more of. Like, I feel like we had a lot of the end of the story, right? Which is kind of like the bloom on the flower, the robots, the success, the, you know, kind of end result. And if you kind of take that moment of signing the Harley-Davidson contract as the triumphant, you know, point where everything turns for him, then you kind of think back of like, where does that come from? Why is that such a triumphant point? Did he grow up poor? What was the first time, you know, he found a motorcycle? Does he have some relationship with a parent or a grandparent that got him into motorcycles? What was his first job? What did he leave to do this? You know, why paint? And like all those things and all those kind of like unanswered questions will make us more emotional when chronologically he gets to that amazing point. And then all this sort of like awesomeness of like robots and, you know, 50 motorcycles a day and all the millions of dollars business will mean so much more because we know, you know, how small it was in the beginning. So I would have loved more history and more of the beginning and middle parts of the story, not just the end. But I think you should be really commended for the technical achievement of the film. I thought it was stellar, and I don't think you'll ever be worried to how to make money, which is what most of us filmmakers worry about, because your work is really high quality.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job. Great feedback. Unless there's any just final quick comments based on what somebody else said, we may transition into our next film. Any final thoughts? That wasn't something that wasn't said? Okay, let's go to Alyssa. Do you want to just give us a quick little intro about your film, and then we'll let you talk a little bit more about it after we watch it?
Sure. This was a film made during April 2020. So I had left high school and my film class was online, and we were navigating how to do a film class virtually. And we had a prompt to write a letter to someone. And so I texted or emailed my teacher and I said, can I make it to anyone? Like, does it have to be to one specific person, the letter? And then that's where the idea came from and what it evolved into. So the only hard part about it was that we weren't all together. Easy TV is the film program. All of our people weren't together and we weren't all making films together, but it was a fun project.
Awesome. So here is Dear Virtual Pen Pal at 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Dear Virtual Pen Pal, when did you wake up today? Did you eat? What did you eat? I've been thinking. I have been doing a lot of thinking. And I think I'm tired of thinking. I think I'm tired of being inside on my phone. I think I'm tired of being outside. How is your confinement, isolation, social distancing coming? Picked up any new hobbies? Dropped the whole picking up new hobbies thing? Yeah.
Me too.
But I'm here for you. Virtually. I miss you. Sincerely and with love. Me.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I wanted to first of all, I wanted to mention we had 16 films in the film program, and 8 of those were by female directors and writers. So that was real exciting at the high school level. I think when I started teaching film maybe 15 years ago in high school, I think I'd have 1 or 2 in a class of 20 females, and it was about 50-50. And now in the festivals, so there's a lot of great stories told from the female perspective, which is exciting because, let's be honest, most of the time the female directors, they wrote the better stories when you had the whole high school class, and then the guys are out, doing action a lot of times and things like that. In general, just in your regular entire class. And so that's real exciting. And then of course, with the pandemic and everything, the challenges of films this year. So anything that went better than you thought? You talked a little bit about the challenges. Any changes or things that went better than you thought with dealing with the current pandemic situation?
I think the fact that I had so much time, as much as I had online classes, I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to do and film it. So a lot of the shots, I think, came out like exactly the way that I had them. And a lot of times when I go out on a shoot, they aren't exactly what I have for one reason or another, because I had all the time in the world. I had plenty of time to take and do what I wanted to do. The only one that I think was really hard was I was the only one there. It was my house and I had no one helping me. So when I had to like hold a camera above something while also doing whatever action, that one was difficult.
Okay, who'd like to jump in and start us off?
I thought this was really great shot selection. That was like the thing that jumped out to me the most. I thought there were a lot of really cool, very dynamic shots, specifically like as you're passing in front of the doorway like a couple of times, and then there's like an absence and the camera like pans down. Like it just was shot really dynamically. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the difficult shot of you sort of holding the camera and then having to toss the stuff. I just thought it was very thoughtfully done. I think I'd say a lot of high school filmmakers, but honestly, it's like a lot of filmmakers, period. I think sometimes shot selection can get a little dry, or it's like, okay, let's get really good coverage. Let's show it from this angle and that angle and be very specific. But I think it takes a lot of confidence to shoot something a little more, I guess, poetic. And I thought that you did a really good job of that.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Alyssa. I'll just jump in real fast. I'm going to speak from an acting point of view because I started in this business as an actor, so I didn't go to filmmaking school. So the heartwarming part of the film, I know it was only a minute, but it really got to me because of all the things going on in the pandemic, and you're reaching out to all of these other people, not only people, but students and kids in school who are more on social media than the adults are, even though it seems like the adults are on social media more. But I just loved how you just reached out to everybody and you got something, that common denominator everybody's doing. And so everybody watching that film could relate to it. And I felt that was very emotional and heartwarming because we are all going through the same thing that you mentioned there. As far as the filmmaking goes, in acting, they have the triple threat: the dancer, the singer, and the actor. You're a quadruple threat. You're a director, a writer, actor, and the editor. So congratulations! It really, within a minute, you really did a lot. So I thought it was very, very heartwarming and touching.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Alyssa. Sorry. Congratulations. I mean, they always we're always instructed to put ourselves in our film and to have it really be something very personal. And you captured that. Like, it was really lovely. I got a sense of you as a person with watching this. I loved your shots. I loved the one when we get and you say "me too," and then the one of you hanging upside down. Like, there were so many different ways. But I think with a film like this, putting your heart and you in it is really important, and you were able to do that. And I think the more personal we make work, it's funny, the more it reverberates with other people. It doesn't feel like it's just us, like other people can relate to it too. So congratulations.
Yeah, I thought it was super creative how you use just your life, your house, and all like stuff that's normally quote unquote like boring to watch, like serial or anything like that. But you just made it feel like life, like everybody's everyday experience. And I thought that was really creative. And yeah, and the shot where it comes on you and it said "me too," like that was, I mean, what you did in a minute was really cool and really creative. And the fact that you told a whole story that was intriguing and engaging is pretty awesome. So good job.
Thank you.
I'll hop in and it came across as really personal, like and like intimate. I guess because we're sort of like seeing the world from your point of view, which is, I think, a really fun achievement of the film, is you're playing with point of view a lot. And I think that's one of the great things about filmmaking is thinking about that and playing with the audience's perspective. Were you looking at the breakfast or what have you? I think that's why the moment where you speak directly to us is so striking. And I also think that in such a difficult time, and I remember April was particularly sort of psychologically difficult for everybody, that you made a film that's so focused around connection and just such a positive spirit, I think is worth commending as well. I think it would have been easy to kind of like make a complaining film, and you made something that made me smile and think about sort of the human need to reach out and connect with people. And I think you circled that really well with this film, even in a minute. So congratulations.
Yeah, I can only, concur with what everyone else is saying. It was just really impressive with what you did. I think the fact that it was a letter is why it felt so personal, because it's almost like we get to be peering into your life. If you were writing this one letter to someone else, that's only between two people, whoever is writing the letter, whoever's reading it. And you let us come into it in such a clever way with your shot list, with the way you did it. The fact that you were all alone just adds another layer to it. I know completely how difficult it is in this time. I did another short this summer, and it was so hard to try to do everything, juggling with a small crew, and you were able to do it with one person, which I think is fabulous. But most importantly, in a minute, you told a really, really personal story that speaks to the masses. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
Everybody, anything else from anyone? Okay, it looks like Nolan, do you want to talk about your film? Just quick introduction of it, and then we'll watch yours.
Yeah, so I think like the best way I would like describe my film is like a mix of like Wreck-It Ralph and like Starsky and Hutch. Like if you mash them together, like just sort of the film was sort of born of like I've been playing this like with this writer's room idea for a long time. That sort of evolved into this. So yeah.
Cool. So here is Diamond Game at 9 minutes and 51 seconds.
we're gonna be so rich!
They're not saying anything.
Anybody got any ideas?
I don't think they have any ideas.
Just be patient.
Ooh, I got an idea. Give me that.
Hey.
I haven't seen you before. What's your name?
Sophie. What's yours, love?
I'm Johnny. Johnny Copman.
Johnny Copman. You wouldn't happen to be a cop, would you?
No.
I think they're cops.
Yeah, I get that feeling too for some reason. Something about that Copman guy.
What should we do?
Let's stick to the plan.
Okay.
I have an idea. What if George did karate because he's one of the Asian ones?
Why?
For intimidation.
Okay. All right. What, again with the karate? What is it with these guys? Just because I'm Asian, right? They want me to do karate all the time?
You're Asian?
Yeah.
Just do it.
I don't want to do that. Nobody cares what I want. I want to paint. I want to be in that painting program.
Why? Because those paint guys are so cool? Just do it.
They are cool, and I wish I could do what they do. This is so dumb.
If you don't do it, the whole system's gonna crash.
Yeah, I know what happens. Fine. Hold this. But no laughing. No funny business, or I'll kick you. Oh my God, who wrote this?
Come on. Just do it.
In the face.
Oh, baby!
Who says that? No funny business, see?
You're the next Hemingway, Ed.
I know. Don't need to compliment me.
No.
All right. Let's see this diamond of yours.
Oh, Ed, Mark is gonna pick us up in like 5 minutes.
Police, put your hands up.
Hey, no, wait a minute,
George,
wait a minute.
we have to. We have to do what it says.
No, wait.
George, you know the system. Sorry, Sophie.
No!
First time seeing someone eliminated? Yeah, well, first time's always rough. You'll get through it.
Ed, Mark's in the parking lot.
Wait, where are you guys going?
Oh, I said a couple of minutes ago we were leaving soon.
So you're just gonna leave and not help me finish?
Well, I mean, I did say Mark was coming. You got tunnel vision or something? Tunnel hearing?
Hey, what's he doing?
George! Hey! Where are you going?
I'm leaving. I'm done with this.
Are you crazy? If you leave and break programming, the whole system shuts down.
I don't care. Look at her. Sophie's dead.
You're another brick in the wall, and this is where you belong. We're not letting you leave.
Watch me.
Well, what are you gonna do with him?
Studying for the SAT.
Studying for the SAT, it's in 2 weeks.
That's why we have to study for it.
So you're just gonna obey some societal construct?
You're a cliche. I hope you know that.
Yeah, I know I am, because this is important. I mean, we're creating something that's new and exciting. What could be more important than that? Dude, what the hell?
Hold it right there, cowboy.
What are you gonna do, shoot me? Shoot me and your almighty system reboots.
Yeah, and you die, and then you're not a part of it anymore. Aren't you scared of that?
Either way, you're doing me a favor.
George, stop! Now!
Elliot, we'd really like to stay. I think I speak for the both of us, but we need to study for this. We really gotta go, so just let us know when you need us to help you write again.
All right, I'll see you guys.
You have no idea what you've done! You fool! You fool! You've doomed us all! No! No!
Oh, what the f—
Okay, Nolan, great job. Talk a little bit about any challenges, changes you had to make while filming, things that went really well, that were unexpected, and then we'll hear from the panel.
There are a lot of like production issues. We had to like, I was submitting it for a festival deadline that was towards the beginning of January, and so we had like 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks to film and edit the whole thing. And it was the first time I had to go get like permits to film something because we were using like prop guns and we didn't want to like have any run-ins with the police. So we did all the stuff to get permits. But it was towards Christmas So the city was shutting down like their stuff for Christmas break, and we weren't going to get the permits. And then the actress who plays Sophie, she had to leave early, so we had to get all her stuff done way early in the day. We had to like rush a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of like production stuff like that.
I'll go first. Nolan, congratulations. I mean, seriously, I'm sitting here watching this stuff going, these guys are just in high school. This is absolutely amazing. I just loved everything about it. You know, I'm a 70s kid, so the flashback, he did a great job of representing that genre, and the font, everything, the music was just great. I don't know what influenced you on that, but you did a great job. I just thought it was overall, it was just so clever. I don't know if you were going for that thing at the end. For me, I got it that he's looking up in the sky, and that in life where things are kind of written out for us or what we should do, but we choose what we want to do. And that's kind of the theme I got from that overall with everything. I mean, there were so many things, nice stories within stories going on. I love the writing that you just initiated the screenplay writing or the story writing on the computer, and then the actors took it from there, of course, with your writing. But really, it was just a great overall story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm very envious that you created such a wonderful project, and I think it's going to really do great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it feels really robust. I mean, I want to praise, I think, as a director, you know, to get that quality of performance across so many actors. I think sometimes that can be difficult, especially when you're a little bit younger, and especially when you're working with older actors, just older than you, I mean. So I thought, I mean, you know, you had several characters in play, and I felt like they were all given really good performances, which is a credit to you, I think. And it was smartly written. I mean, I think this is not a story we've never heard before, where it's like the characters know they're in a story and do whatever, but you were doing a lot of really interesting things I hadn't seen, as far as having writers kind of take over for one another and then leave, and how is that affecting the story, and the parallel narratives between the narrative story and then the actual kids, you know, writing the screenplay was very cool. So it kept surprising me, and I loved the scene at the end. You got like a little like, oh, out of me that, you know, he's painting, and that was just super cute. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm so impressed that how much you did yourself on all of this. That's pretty remarkable. As I'm watching the credits at the end, and your name keeps popping up on so many things, Nolan. So congrats to you on that. They're right. You know, have we seen elements of this story before? We have, but you really took it into this layered approach, because as Robert said, it jumped out at me as the other two kids were leaving, and we're watching it happen in the story as they're taking over their own storyline within the script. Very impressed. I thought it was, Pat will know this as someone else older in the room. I kept thinking about the Carol Burnett sketch, and when they're writing, they're telling them what to do on stage, waiting for the writer to tell them. So you did a throwback in the 70s, even beyond what you thought you were doing with the music and the genre. There's some other stuff that happened back in the 70s too. You didn't even know you were throwing to, but really, really clever stuff that you had going on here. So just really kudos to you.
You know, Nolan, I think one of the greatest challenges is when we have challenges on set is not to let them appear on screen in what we shoot. And so hearing about all the things that you were dealing with, I don't see those. Those did not come across on screen. I saw a confident filmmaker who was realizing his vision, and I just want to congratulate you on that. It's really beautiful. I love the opening with the car and the location. Again, I'm into color, so seeing the colors there, I was immediately hooked in, and that goes with your font choice and all of that. But I think a real mark is when the audience doesn't notice all the pain that it took to get the image and everything up on screen. And I would have never had any of those ideas of what you were battling. So really, really terrific work.
I think it was really cool. Right off the beginning, the intro was like, it had me. I was like, this is cool. This is going to be like hilarious. And it was also really well shot. Like, I don't know what camera you're using, but and lenses and all that, but like have a real talent for filming. Your shot selections and how you did everything was really, really well done. I was super impressed with the filming of it and the editing, and yeah, it got heartwarming in the end too, which was cool. But you embraced the quirky cheesiness, and that was pretty fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, how do you pronounce your last name?
Trifunovic.
Trifunovic. We're gonna all be seeing that name again, I'm sure. I just can't believe the quality of all these films, but like I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I'm just remembering how primitive I was in high school. I'm totally blown away. Yeah, just from like just how it was shot and just like going there with the 2:3:9 aspect ratio, the editing, it was funny. You had that great sort of way that the two storylines were parallel of the friends trying to leave and him trying to leave. I thought that was totally unexpected. I wanted to know what was going to happen, which I think says a lot for, you know, a short film. And I just think you should just keep making stuff. Like if you just continue to consistently make stuff, and like just don't be too focused on the last thing you did, just keep making more stuff. It's just going to get exponentially better. And your career will take off if you keep focusing on the work, because your starting place is what many of us filmmakers look to achieve, you know, and with 10 years of focus. So use that to your advantage and just keep making stuff, because you're already making us laugh and, you know, making a really high quality thing. So congratulations, and looking forward to seeing your first feature. I'll be in line buying a ticket.
Thanks, that means a lot.
I guess that was everybody. Anyone have any last thoughts? I'm gonna see what time it is. We have a few minutes. Anybody have any just last thoughts in general? I'd encourage you to watch, if you get a chance, to watch the rest of the high school program. There's 13 other films. And I'm always worried every year, oh, is it gonna be as good as last year? And then the students always come through, and we all end up with a great, diverse program. So yeah, I know you're busy. I really appreciate your time. This has been great. I think it means a lot to the students, obviously, and really to all of us at Breck Film. Any final comments from anyone before I do a little quick wrap up?
I would just say that, you know, whenever I come to do something like this, and particularly today, it's supposed to be in service of the students. But I think for me, I got more out of this and more inspired, honestly, by seeing this great work from all three of you. And it makes me want to, you know, go out and get a camera again and do more stuff. So thank you. You've inspired me.
Yeah, and props for coming and doing the event. I mean, that's the thing. I think you'll all learn it. I mean, you're all like super talented, and I know that you know people who are super talented, but it's like sort of these kinds of networking events and just being proactive about not only doing good work, but then promoting your work. I mean, that's a huge piece of it. They say talent's cheap, you know, I mean, everyone is hopefully talented, but it's good that you guys are being proactive about self-promotion as well. And that's going to carry you even further. So yeah, good on you.
I just want to say congrats, and it was very nice to meet everybody. Thank you, Paul and Steve. You guys, I appreciate this, because just like Blaney said, it's always inspiring for me as well. And lastly, I'd like to get that clock that Greg has, because you look like the chosen divine one with that glow in the back there. So, but congrats again, everybody.
If you just hang around just for a second. Paul, we usually do a group photo. Paul, I don't know if you can, I saw somebody take one. Diana took one, I think, when we did the awards on Thursday. So perhaps you can take a group photo of us on the screen, and we'll do with that. I also wanted to mention, usually when we're together, everybody gets to kind of mingle afterwards. And I know a lot of times there's some networking going on. Filmmakers are saying, oh my gosh, I would hire you even from a distance. So I was thinking maybe if you're interested in sharing your contact information, either the student filmmakers or the Breck Filmmakers. Maybe Paul is your central piece there, and he can, that way we know you want to share your contact info, and then that could go through Paul. Does that sound okay with you? And then because that is a big part of it, and we're missing that a little bit. It's really always having fun, having lunch, and just getting to sit and chat as well. But kudos to Paul. Thank you for putting this together. Diana, Breck's always so supportive with their education piece. Yes, thank you, Paul.
I was gonna say, so
again,
yeah,
like you said, the filmmakers coming up, you know, they're sometimes students don't want to do it, but you're showing up, right? And you hope something positive happens out of it. But anyway, just thank you again. I know you're busy and enjoying the festival, but it means a lot to have this program. I just think it gets better every year. Paul, I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Students and filmmakers are alike. I mean, honestly, yeah, watching the students, I mean, extremely inspiring to watch these fledgling filmmakers come up and hopefully see them in the other screens, and they'll be talking to the students in years from now and talking about how they got to the Breck Film Fest as a teenager, and maybe as a, you know, when they get a little older, and see where they go. So as Ben said, like, remember these names, because these guys might, hopefully they continue on, and we see them again. So let us do a little, I want to do a quick group photo. So do a little pose, and again, this will be on YouTube as well. So I'll send out a link to everybody here for the YouTube and for the picture, and as well as for contact information, and you can share with each other. So strike a pose, and I'll get a quick photo here. Right. In about 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So thank you very much, everybody. And again, this is always quite it's only my second year doing this, and first year being non-virtual in person, and this is still just as good, I thought, virtually. So kudos to Steve, because Steve has been doing this for 4 years, and I'm just helping out to just get it together. But and congratulations to all of you for being accepted into the Breckenridge Film Fest. I hope you had a great time, and continue to come back to us each year. So
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good to talk to you guys.
Thanks. Congrats.